tell me then, Guy, I don't know if people have ever heard this on the podcast. Did you ever have aspirations to like be a player?
Yes, I was one of those naive children at the age of 15 or 5 who thought it was going to be the next Tiger Woods. No, I did, but I
was the same.
What was quite good for me was I had a bit of a reality check, because as I was a junior golfer, I was at a golf club where there was a lot of good juniors. And I think we used to have like team matches, and there was 6 of us in a team. And at one point, every one of us was a single figure handicapper or better.
Yeah.
So it was a good standard. But what really kind of made me realise quite early on was the lad who I was a junior member with, like a really good friend at the time called Paul Howard. He was always better than me. And he went on to go and play in the Open.
I think I've taught him before.
Royal Troon, he played at the Open. Really good player. He's not made it, he's kind of sacked off golf, I think, now. But he was always a lower handicap than me. He was the Lancashire setup and all that kind of stuff. And I always knew that he was better than me. I wasn't as good as him. And it doesn't mean I could never have got better than him, but I just knew it wasn't. So seeing him kind of made me realise. And then another friend of mine, Barry Taylor, who's a local teaching pro now, he was a very good player at like local, regional level, with loads of PJ stuff. Oh yeah, he's a lot older than me. But he was he would have played in the PJ Cup, was won countless pro-ams and local regional events and stuff and national stuff. And even he never got a European Tour card or anything. Yeah. So I think if I was the same level I was now at a golf club with that many juniors, a level I was then, let's say when I was 15, a golf club with that many juniors, I probably would have thought I was the next best thing.
Yeah. That's the trap I fell into a little bit. I was at a club where I was one of the best players, and I wasn't, in the grand scheme of things, our scratch team probably had 2 single figure handicappers.
Yeah.
So for me, I was like...
You were the golden boy.
Yeah, a little bit, and certainly when my mum was playing, I used to play a lot of golf with my mum, and she would hype me up a bit too much, and it was at a time where I didn't really know what good looked like.
Yeah.
I hadn't ventured out that often. I hadn't played in that many junior opens, and it was when I started playing in those junior opens and venturing out a bit more, I was like, I am a long way off this.
Well, I used to play in events that Tommy Fleetwood was playing in. And I was off like 5 at 15 or 16. I think he was off like Scratch, sponsored by Nike and stuff. And he was just streets ahead. Yeah. It was just a different level. Another thing as well, always kind of made me realise, the Faldo series, the junior tour, if you like. I think you had to be, obviously it was a category, certain ages, so you had to have like a 9 handicap or 5 handicap, depending on what age you were at. And I was always low enough to enter, but not low enough to actually make the buffer to get in. So I thought, well, if I can't even get into them events where you had Rory, Ollie Fisher, Tommy Fleetwood, all these boys killing it, I couldn't even get into it. Yeah. So I don't know. But then again, you think at 15, if you did spend the next 5 years absolutely grinding, how good could he have got? But you don't, do you, when you're that age? You start the old cliche of going out and drinking and meeting bloody girls and all that stuff.
It was a big reality check for me as well when I went to college. So I went to Myerscough College in Preston. And again, I kind of was single figures, can't quite remember what I was off, maybe 6 or 7. But again, I was going in there thinking I was really big balls. And I first day, it was like handicaps went round and I was, not even close to being top 10. Yeah. And it's like, oh, wow. And I thought, that's all right, I've got 2 years, I can grind, I can get better. I got really good at drinking. I got really good at going out. Take it right here, Matt.
What was your tipple back then? What would your drink have been of choice?
Believe it or not, Boddington's.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was that trying to look hard? Or did you
I don't know.
It?
It's like a roommate of mine.
Boddington?
I know, yeah. A roommate of mine, because I stayed in at college. I was only 16, living away from home. But best days of my life, really. Living away from home, 2 years. Monday to Friday, I'd be away. It wasn't that far, it was only in Preston, so it was like an hour away from where I live. And the lad I shared with, a lad called Howard, he also kind of bitter. He was a bit, same age as me, but had a kind of wiser head on him. Or to some degree wiser head. And he used to bring a crate of Boddingtons on a Sunday night. And we'd have supped it in no time.